This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, point is verse 13, and it reads, and it reads, I'm going to start up at verse 11, Ezekiel 4 and 11, thou shalt drink also water by measure, the sixth part of a hin from time to time shalt thou drink, and thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of a man in their sight. And the Lord Yahweh Bashmiashah said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to God, Loyam, Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Kodesh Brakatham. I want to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua that are listening and learning, Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you I say shalom. It's brother y'all, what's up out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant. I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. This lesson is in regards to this article I saw on, I believe I saw it on my Newsbreak app, and it says the world's first 3D, the world's first 3D printed salmon is hitting store shelves, and it looks kind of good. This fish fillet is made from mycoprotein and comes with a European dance soundtrack. So it's funny how Esau, upsells everything. So you see, and you can see it being printed. The seafood alternative is made from mycoprotein and plant proteins. It's funny because I remember brother making mention of that. You got this impossible meat that Esau has created because he's a mad scientist. And basically, the brother was like, you can't convince me that's actually like vegetarian or plant-based food, because how can plant food or how can a vegetable taste like meat? So like this devil is splicing in, he's truly playing a mad scientist. Makes you think of the scripture in Ezekiel, and the Lord put that spirit on the devil. You go into Ezekiel, not Ezekiel, Ezekiel chapter 28. It reads, Ezekiel 28 and verse 1, and the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrese. So this is the ancient prince of Tyrese, but the modern day prince of Tyrese is Esau Edom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, because thine heart is lifted up, because this devil is proud. It goes into, this devil pride, in the book of Obadiah, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am in power. I sit in the seat of the Most High in the midst of the seas, so in the midst of the people, he is a power. Yet thou art a man and not power, or not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of the Most High, or God. And, this man is literally trying to play God, to the point where he's trying to create food. He's trying to splice genes. You had that devil, Noah Huvel Harari, which is hilarious because this guy's name is Noah, but he doesn't even believe in God, Or I wouldn't say he doesn't believe in God. He just basically thinks that Esau Edom is more powerful than God, and that's the height of pride. But that's the spirit too, because the scriptures talk about when a kingdom gets to an exalted position where they when they get to the apex of their technology and their basically the height of their kingdom, the Most High brings it down. And this fourth industrial revolution is the apex of Esau Edom's kingdom. That's why he's going to be allowed to usher it in to a degree, but it's going to be, the scriptures talk about the deceiver and the deceiver are both his. So he's going to allow Esau Edom to bring this in because in actuality it's the will of Yahweh Shem Shah, but it's going to be a snare and a trap for his detriment. Says verse 3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. It tells you in the scriptures in the book of Luke that the children of this world are wiser than the children of light, referring to Esau Edom being the children of this world, because the world is given to them. It tells you in the book of Job that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. into the hand of the wicked. There's no secret that they can hide from thee. It talks about how Edom has basically accomplished a diligent search. That's why this devil, we was just talking about it at the study. I forgot how I came across the information, but ancient Rome, they basically broke down a lot of like the obelisk in Rome is actually ancient obelisk. I'm not for sure if because you got the three city states, and all of them have something in common, which is the obelisk, and or the obelisk. It depends on how you say it. But anyhow, and which goes back to it's some left hand shit, but they say it can represent a phallus. That's why in certain districts in the three city state that's there. It has to do with sacred geometry and all that other shit. But saying that to say this, I'm not for sure if because I want to say because I think Washington D.C. is the largest obelisk in the world, if I'm not mistaken. And that's why it's like 6,666 or 666. If I'm not mistaken, I might be off, but I'm pretty sure it's like some goofy, it's some weird, some math like that. And I think it's the most powerful, or not the most powerful, but the tallest in the world. And that's why America's military is the most powerful. These people are using left hand sorcery, left hand knowledge, and they have the masses confused thinking, this or that. Like they have the masses on a simple, it's kind of like that book, which they turned into a movie, but I remember the brother was telling me about it, called The Giver. And basically you had a society that was dumbed down, and you had one person that actually had all the ancient knowledge and knew all the records and had all this knowledge. And they were basically like the ruler over all these people, you know what I mean? And that's what they pretty much, they putting it in your face without putting it in your face. It's a subtle way to show you that's how these elites, the way the world really functions and works is not the way that they tell you it works. You know what I mean? That's why those that's part of fraternities and whatnot, they tend to like have help getting in positions and being successful. Verse 4: with thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. But by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshua power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. And if I'm not mistaken, I think those going to the ICBMs. But basically, because scriptures talk about how these nations gonna turn on Babylon the Great, aka America, this whore, because they in bed with the whole world. You know what I mean? Pushing this philosophy, doctrines, and whatnot, and they wickedness. But people, the other nations gonna make war and eventually shoot those ICBMs on this place. But with that being said, back in this article, and it go back to Revelations 18 because a lot of countries make money with this place. But I was just thinking about this because you got a lot of countries that don't deal with like they process foods, and like I was watching something on YouTube, and they were showing how like in certain countries like they might have the hot flaming Cheetos, but they don't use the food coloring. And I just recently found that out, because all that food coloring is not good for you, but they push it on our kids here. It might be still hot because they had, I think, hot Cheetos from Japan, and then the hot Cheetos in America. And of course, ours got the food dye. But they not foolish enough as much as Japan is in leagues with America. They also like, hell no. You know what I mean? Like, that's how wicked these people are. Says the world's first 3D printed salmon is hitting store shelves and it looks kind of good, which is some bullshit. The jury may still be out, or plant-based meat alternatives. And then I read something. They was talking about basically how that Impossible Burger, it didn't do what they thought. I think this was a startup that Bill Gates kind of helped purchase, or he gave funding to. Bill Gates got his hand in a lot of different shit. I was watching the elder Yashua Wamba's video, and he's talking about new salt, basically how Bill Gates, hell, basically, again, funded or bought the company that came out with this new salt where it's not salt, but it's a alternative, but they want to replace the actual salt and use this shit. So it's a purpose why they, like right now, you got, scarcity on food because of the fact people can't afford the food, food processing plants being burnt down and whatnot. And it's funny how all of a sudden all this 3D printed and lab grown meat is popping up out of nowhere because they going to give the people this shit. That's why we need salvation and deliverance, you know what I mean? Like, cause, if Yahweh Shai wasn't to come back, no flesh would be saved. And that the entire world needs. It says the jury may still be down on plant-based meat alternatives, economic and environmental viability, but experts largely agree that the seafood industry in its current form is untenable. Overfishing presents countless ecological problems, and this is all, what you got that, what is that, Agenda 2030, you know what I mean? Like, all this shit is lining up with that. They want to basically make the world more, basically, they want to pack you in these 15-minute cities and take away your freedoms of fishing and, all these different things that you were allowed to do for centuries. They basically, Esau don't want you doing shit, They don't want you to be able to leave out of these quarantine zones or these 15-minute cities, fly. They don't want you to be able to fish. You already got to pay to even fish. You get pulled over fishing on a lake without a fisher's permit. That's like a federal offense type thing. And I found that out and was amazed, like, for real. But, God gave you the seas and the lakes and, this is how much this man trying to play God. Says including plastic pollution and the potential for a wholesale collapse of marine biodiversity. And the funny part is anything that's wrong with the seas is this man's fault. This man is the same man saying this shit, but he's the one that's dumping the shit in the lake. You got Esau and his companies that's had those huge oil spills, So like I said, that's what makes this man a hypocrite. Like I was just bringing that out in a lesson about how this devil will literally play both sides like he the Most High, creating good and evil, because he'll literally be have laws against drugs, but then be the main person bringing the drugs in. How do you think police will? I remember a guy telling me about how he had a family member that he was a narcotics detective, and basically he would get the narcotics and take them back to his family members that was in the streets and sell them to them. Yeah, crooked ass, because the best way to be able to manipulate a law is to know it. So the people that's actually work for the system are the ones that break the laws the most. So it makes this system so fucked up. It says Austrian-based food tech startup Revo Foods announced this week that its 3D printed vegan fish fillet inspired by salmon is heading to European grocery store shelves, a first for 3D printed foods. And I know that they had lab grown fish. So, this shit is just getting ridiculous. Because eventually these things going to make their way here. Especially when the cost of food is going to be ridiculous. Like, that's going to be a supplement. You buying actual real food and energy is about to go up because inflation. But the price of this 3D printed shit may be cheaper. And then, like I said, I read that literally, like, with that lab grown meat, they going to put that in restaurants first. So just like how they make it seem like catfish or lobster is a delicacy, when the actuality is, a bottom feeder is like some shit that you really ain't supposed to be eating. But Esau upsell it and play it like it's the greatest shit in the world. It says, according to the company's September 15th press release, the arrival of the filet represents a pivotal moment in sustainable food with 3D printed consumables ready to scale at industrial volumes. Revo Food Filet is likely to be just the first of many other such 3D printed edible products to soon hit the market. And so they're going to come with more. Because again, like I said, the price of food is going to skyrocket. And, Esau going to want, that's going to be for those that can afford it. And then, you can have this alternative, though. Some bullshit. So I'm going to read that scripture again. Ezekiel 4 and verse 13, and it reads, and the Lord said, And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat the defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. So you're going to have people in Europe, because you got Jake out there. You got Europe, Salaki, you got Israelites all over the world. And this is going to basically go all around the world. You know, I remember during the pandemic, and then they were showing, you know, you had them TikTok videos where people basically went to the grocery store and they were seeing meat prices, shit, $30, $50, $100 for a rack of lamb. Or, you know, I remember brothers in New York, I remember the brother Bakar Moff said he bought a rack of lamb and the shit cost like $70, if I'm not mistaken. Right. And then with this devil, you don't even know, like, they got technology where they can mix other meats within the meat, you know what I mean? Like some kind of meat glue. This man the fucking devil. So I'm gonna just bring out some scriptures because I'm waiting to go to work. You know, this place is defiled, and that's a wicked ass, and that's miserable too. Just imagine, you know, like we as Israelites are to, you know, we have clean and unclean foods that we eat, and you can't trust this devil. The scriptures tell you never trust thine enemy. You know, this, you know, after research, like just like doing Passover, like with Passover, you know, when you go into how much stuff has leaven in it, and you wonder like, well, why do you put leaven in this, or why do you put pork in that? You know, and they'll say, well, because of the fact this, but it's really not though. Like, I mean, like you can make that shit without pork. You know, I was talking to a lady that made candy that used to watch my children, and I was like, my children don't eat pork, and she was like, well, I could still make this without this ingredient that has pork in it. So, you know what I mean? It's like just spiritually, he got it out for Jake. But that's a miserable thought to know, to try to control what you intake in your body and knowing you can't. And that's just little, you know what I mean? That show you the power of the Most High, how he could fuck with your mind and tear. And, you know, that's just a little bit of suffering. You know, that's not major suffering, but that's suffering, you know? You know, I remember brother bringing up about how, you know, bringing up about how you can't sleep, you know, being able not to sleep. You know, a person that suffers from I forgot what it's called, but you know that, and that's a miserable, like that's miserable. You know what I mean? You know, I have trouble sleeping to a degree, and I'm not always, like, for whatever reason, like maybe I'm just getting older, but like I'm always tired. You know, I thought it might have been, you know, I had low testosterone, but they like that's not the case. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but the point being, you know, low testosterone can cause, you know, being tired. And but my point being, that's a miserable feeling, you know. So just imagine, like I said again, eating some shit that, or you don't know exactly what you're eating, you know. Then you don't want to eat. You know, a brother was telling me about that, you know, like a lot of times he say he don't want to eat, and then he loves to eat though, but you don't want to eat these GMOs because you don't know how defiled they are. This is 2 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And that's going for Esau, Edom, but that's also for 2/3 of our people. You know what I mean? The only ones that's trying to humble themselves is those that's come back to the remembrance and repented and come back to the remembrance of the law, statutes, commandments of our power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, and it keep coming with more miseries. You know, I mean, you see how many judgments happening, like that Libyan flood, and you know, that earthquake in Morocco, and you know, Maui. You know, like, yeah, the Lord is like got his eye on Babylon the Great. Well, not Babylon the Great, because I just named different countries, but my point is, if he's done these things to these other countries, well, Hawaii is part of Babylon the Great. My point being, if these things are going on in these other countries, what does he have in store for Babylon? And then you don't know if Esau, Edom did these things or the Most High, but ultimately it's still the will of the Most High. It tells you that the Most High, all things obey His will. You know, it tells you that man does not direct his own steps. Then this devil trying to tell you that it's better to like eat this 3D printed meat. You know what I mean? That's how wicked this motherfucker is. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 29, verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? So basically, you know what I mean? Like you got Esau with this philosophy that a boy could be really a girl, and the Most High made a mistake. That's the pride of this devil. And then you got people that look at him like a god and follow that same doctrine. You know, he has a lot to pay for it. You know, he really does. And that's why the scriptures say all that's joined onto him shall be thrust through, you know, Isaiah. I think that's Isaiah chapter, it ain't 14. Was it Isaiah 13, I think? Yeah. He basically gonna say that the Most High got it wrong. He gonna tell the potter that the clay gonna tell the potter that you got it wrong. Pride of this fucking devil. And then, like I said again, he pushing the fact that okay, we can make this 3D printed stuff, but you don't know what's the side effects of any of this long term. I mean, you seeing that Romans chapter 1 and verse 18. I'm gonna start. This is Romans chapter 1 verse 25. I'm gonna start up. This is Romans chapter 1 verse 22. Professing himself to be wise, who is that? Esau, Edom. They became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, into birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore the Most High also lusts of their own hearts to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Now that can go into Jake too, because you got like, but you know, Esau, Edom is the one that's pushing that whole philosophy of a man can be with a man and a woman can be with a woman. You know, you know, the glory of the Most High. You know, His creation. And he's telling you that he can literally do it better, coming straight from the mouth of that guy Noah Huvel Harari. You know, he said, how did he say it? He said basically the God of the Bible created not inanimate, but he was saying how inorganic, I want to say. I forgot how he said it, but he made a goofy ass statement. You know, you know, and it's funny too for you to sit up there and not to believe, but then you say you acknowledge that it's the Most High God, because he said that they basically Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, because he ain't talking about all of them, man. He talking about them. Literally have surpassed Most High that they don't need him. They can make him as angry as they want. They're not worried about it. Yet still, the Most High manifesting, you know, by his signs and wonders. You know what I mean? I remember recently, brother was like it was a earthquake and a tornado at the same time in our city, and we don't get earthquakes or tornadoes. Where it says, wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worshipped this. So like and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. And you know that's what Esau Edom has convinced majority of these people, especially our people, the 2/3. They look at this man as onto a god, especially when he come and unveil this new system. You know what I mean? This technology, this little weak ass technology that Esau Edom has, that's really dumbed you down. You know what I mean? You know, men aren't as powerful as they once was. Not even women. You know what I mean? Everything is weaker here. You know what I mean? Everything though. Verse 26, for this the Most High gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. So that's this devil and his philosophy, and basically his philosophy is everything opposite of the Most High. I mean, it's really bizarro. He's bizarro Superman. You know, he's really anti the Messiah, anti Christ. So because of this, the Lord gonna bring great judgment. You know what I mean? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 26, and it reads, Isaiah 26 and verse 7, and it reads, the way of the just is uprightness, though most upright dost wait the path of the just. Verse 8, yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Lord, have we waited for thee. Desire of our soul is to thy name and to the remembrance of thee. Verse 9, with my soul I have desired thee in the night, yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. The scriptures talk about many great miseries coming. You know what I mean? You go to Second Ezra, what's that? Chapter 15 talks about, behold, speak thou in the ear of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. And it's multiple prophecies that's being fulfilled right now. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. That's going for your Noah Huvel Harari that doesn't believe. Scriptures tell you in the book of Romans chapter 3, so what if some did not believe? To make the faith of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua to none effect. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord Yahweh Salaki. Behold, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Verse 6, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And an evil, hurtful work is these devils creating this 3D printed fucking food. You know what I mean? It's bad enough with the pork, because like I said again, if you want to eat pork, I can't stop you, but you're going to just force this shit on us, you know what I mean? And that's why, like I said again, if you don't understand that you need a savior, that means you with this system, and your judgment, you deserve it for real, like I say, like, especially if you a Jake, man, like, the fuck? Jake could be so adamant about everything. Jake could get adamant about Boosie's rap career, or you know what I mean, they did Monique wrong, or just on some goofy shit. But you know what I mean, talk about I was just reading about a fool in the book of Ecclesiasticus just today. You know what I mean, like just some foolish shit, you know what I mean? Like, so you know what I mean, at the end of the day, the Lord coming with judgments, and we ain't seen nothing yet. You're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Central Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I pray you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to God, Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem and honor to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim, across the four corners of the earth, preaching the truth, with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, and a freedom of youth on the homeless on the never. To the Akim and the Aqua. Out there listening and learning the world, we be better for him. But subscribe to the truth, to USA. Bubble boy.